I got to know him at a varsity club function, and at the time, all I thought he was just a great supporter of IU and a lover of IU athletics. And as I've gotten to know him a lot more, I've realized what a huge impact he has had on athletics, women's athletics, and education in general. He's on the IU Board of Trustees. He's a life member of the IU Foundation Board of Directors. He's a former chairman of the Indiana Commission of Higher Education, chairman of the Center of Philanthropy's governing board. I mean, as Fred mentioned, he worked as chief of staff for Birch Bayh. And I think that's probably the most important thing or interesting thing that I like about it is his impact on women's athletics in Title IX. As I said, we talked briefly at practice this morning about it, and I wanted people to do their homework and learn more and more about it. I think one of the biggest dangers we have as sports evolve is people forget what it was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And thanks to PA and people like him, the opportunities that you guys have are just amazing. And so we're very, very thankful. The other thing, PA has endowed a number of scholarships supporting IU sports, IU athletics, as I mentioned earlier, and he just met Maddie. He is actually endowed a scholarship that will go to a rower each year, and Maddie Pierce is the recipient this year. So thank you to PA and all he's done on behalf of IU and IU athletics. Now you just saw how it's been done, but so we would like to thank you formally with the Honorable PA Mack.
Thanks, old buddy. I'm really moved. You know, I have received a lot of plaques and awards, but this is so meaningful. I'm really honored. This program has grown so much from the time that we approved women's sports back in, I guess it was in the 90s, before you were born. But I can't imagine all these changes that have taken place here. But we go back to passing Title IX. That was back in the 70s, 72, I think. Title IX. And look at all the opportunities that you have today compared to what we had back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Things have really changed. But this is a tremendous honor, and I appreciate what all of you have done and what you're going to do as students at this university. And to be with Fred Glass and Steve and all of you, it's just so meaningful. I will never forget this honor that you have given me. I wish that Joanne Alcott, who is my sidekick, we don't ever talk about politics. She's a solid Republican. but her daughter is here and grew up in Bloomington. Nancy, where are you? Oh, here she is, right here. And her husband is from Oak Ridge, and that's where you're going tomorrow. So they know a lot about rowing, and I'm learning so much from them. But I look forward to seeing all of you.
Good luck. It's good luck. Okay. I want to thank everybody who came out, especially Fred, especially PA. You guys mean a lot to us in our program. As I did say earlier, although I don't think people want to, which is fine, if you want to come back out again and come out for a warm practice, you're more than happy to come out and sit in our launch and check out a practice. But yeah, we got to do some work. We got to do our thing. Thank you.
Thank you.